but it looks like someone else is live. Not sure. Maybe he'll get me.
Rồi, bánh tráng dừa nướng không nào?
Huh?
The guy, how many did he have now?
How many did he have, Fluffster?
I don't know, I didn't count, but he only has two now.
Fluffy's keeping stock on how many he has. Fluffy thinks they buy a lot. I'm not that hot, Fluffy. Now, I will say it's a little bit hotter on this than the one that's usually pumping out AC, but I don't feel Tui Hua hot or on the beach in Nha Trang hot. What are you doing, Fluffy?
Messaging. Okay.
Just got back from Hard Rock Casino. Hopefully you didn't lose your car keys and your mortgage at the casino. Hopefully you didn't lose it.
What?
His car keys and mortgage. There's another guy doing a live, look. I don't know what he's doing. He's been doing this for about 10 minutes and he's on some kind of live stream. We already have one stop down, but the stop was only like 20 or 30 minutes into the train.
And he's invested to it because he has the, what do you call that?
What do you call that?
The handle.
The handle. This is the SE8. They told us we went and got something to eat, and then they said, whoever's on SE8, immediately get to the gates. Immediately. Right now. We ran. We got over there. There was nobody even coming on. We're like, oh man, it's going to leave us. Then we got on and waited like another 10 minutes. And actually, we went, and people were sitting in our seats, and they didn't want to leave. So, we're on now. I think we have a little under 4 more hours till we get to the city of Nhon. Modesto. You're named after a city in California. So here we go. If you guys want to help the chat, hit the double tap to like to give a thumbs up. Oh, it looks like we're leaving now. Say bye to whatever random small city this is. But you know what? Like, instead of the crock pot live stream, I bet if I just held this up to the train while I was going, I'm sure a lot more people would watch. They have fake account, do 300 donation to the channel. No, I'm not the type that, I don't do any scammy stuff. Either people like the channel and want to do it or want to do it. I'm not a sleazy car salesman. I don't do that shady stuff. To me, I'm up front, I'm honest. Just like the other YouTubers that say, I don't want to. I get a lot of comments of people who say, hey man, stop talking about Da Nang. We don't want no one to know about it. And I'm like, dude, don't be like that. This is not. It's like the little kid that has the basketball. I'm like, I'm not going to let you play. My mom got me this basketball and only for me. I'm not like that. I don't do scams. I don't mislead. I don't deceive people. I'm not into that. If anyone knows me in real life, they know I am. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I don't lie. I don't BS people. People either like me or they don't. I don't try to fool people or play the little games. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that little shady stuff. Hey, let me send in some donations and trick other people to do it. Like, if you guys give donations, you guys give it because you want to and you like it. If not, no problem. But I'm not into the little, hey man, go do it. That's why actually I was a car salesman for about 2 months, and I quit. I was like, I can't do this. It's too shady for me. I know him in real life. Will is the same guy. I appreciate it, Biggie. Biggie, we're on the train. This is the Brokey train though. This is the Brokey train. It's actually not bad for me, and I think most people will be fine. There's a light switch. Actually, this is a good time, Biggie. If you want to look, we just took off, and I'll give you a little tour. Now let me mind you guys, this is the Brokey train. It's not as nice as the one that we took coming down here, but if you guys want, you can plug your devices in here. You got your baggage, and we'll go take a walk. Now these bathrooms are not as nice as the other ones. Our bags are up here. The sinks are not as good, but you do have a sink to wash your hands. The bathrooms, I think, are not going to be as good. I haven't seen them yet, but let's see if this one's open. No, it's locked. But look at this. Nice countryside. Look at that. Look at that. We're out in rural something, Vietnam. And actually, shockingly, out in this city, we have 5G. 5G. And they got the little food carts that come by. I think Dark Brother mentioned something earlier about the standing room tickets. I've never seen them on the website, but I think they exist. I'll tell you. Oh, look at this. There's someone's cow. What was that? This is pretty nice, though. I have no clue what life would be like in a city like this. What if you guys lived in a city out in the middle of nowhere, Vietnam? Is this the restaurant card? You can smoke in here, though. So you can smoke. And this is the area I think people do standing room only. This train, I will admit, some people are probably not meant for this train, but if you do the SE 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's a much, much nicer train. This is just a regular Amtrak style train. Let's go over here. But it has a table one. There's only that one little table on each side of the train. You do get blankets if you guys need them. And this goes all the way down from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh. We'll show you guys. It looks cool. I mean, I would love, if I just had unlimited time, I would just kind of like get off at one of these stops and stay there for the night and then just get back on the train. But who knows what these cities are actually like. Like, look at this. There's a gas station. There's some houses. His channel is so weird. He spends hours insulting his audience. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't understand, the insulting the audience. And he's like, give me money, idiots, broke. And I'm like, I don't know how anybody watches him, but who knows? Look at all this. But I will tell you, Nha Trang is hotter. It is definitely hotter. Fluffy's over there saying, it's so hot, it's so hot. Oh, here's your guys' toilet. So this is the worst toilet that we've seen here. So you guys, if you guys been following the channel, you guys seen that nice porcelain one. This is the worst one. So this is the lowest class bathroom that we've seen here. And this is on trains SE5 and above. SE5 and below, or SE4 and below, are the ones that have the nice bathrooms. And the nice restaurant that you guys seen that other time. This train, if this is compared to the luxury bus, that's crazy, because remember, Dark Brother, this is the lower class train. So the SE 1 through 4 is much better. It had that nice full restaurant, and the seats were a little bit better, and it was half the price of the luxury bus, and it had individual AC. So the luxury one that you guys would call of this is much better. Let's see. I don't know why, but they keep having this Santa Claus everywhere. What's up, Kim? No, it was piss. I didn't see any crap. Here's the other bathroom, though. There's the worst bathroom right there. Kim came in at the right time. So now you guys seen both of the bathrooms. This is the brokey train, but here's the sleeper carts. So so that toilet was the worst, but the one that we just showed about 2 minutes ago was all right. But let me show you guys. So Kim would never get on the SE5 or 8. But if you would have been here 3 days ago on the SE1, 2, 3, or 4, those are the newly remodeled trains, and they have a very nice bathroom. Oh, these are the six cabin. So look, a bed down there, a bed there, and a bed there. There was 4. So there was 4 cabins and 6 cabins. Yeah, the other toilets are regular sit-down toilets. Even in the one in here, that I don't know why that one's here, but down here there's a regular toilet, but it's like a prison toilet, like the aluminum toilet. Reduced the screen to half the vertical size. We're not donating, and then some random woman pops up $300. Yeah, that's crazy. But I always love seeing these little cities right here. And if I just had like unlimited time, I would probably just like stop at one of these little cities. Oh, there's a buffalo. Oh, look at the little baby one. Look at all these birds. It's so nice. This train was 142, which is about $5.50, a little under $6 for a 5-hour train ride. So it's basically like $1 per hour, basically, if you want to break it down that way. 5-hour train ride and about $5. I didn't try one of those sleepers. So if you guys are gonna do the sleeper, I wouldn't do the 6. I would do the 4. There's a 4 bed and a 6 bed. I don't think I would ever recommend the 6 bed. 4 bed maximum. I heard on the better trains there's a two bed sleeper. I haven't seen it in person, but I've read that they have the 2 sleeper. I would do the 2 sleeper if it was available. Now obviously it's going to cost a little more, but I would recommend that for sure. So the Fuda bus, that when I was looking to go from, what I liked about the Fuda bus, Dark Brother, we'll show you if you want. The Fuda bus would have left at 10 in the morning, which was perfect for us. But the Fuda bus was 330,000. This was 140,000. So the Fuda bus to Nhon was going to leave at the perfect time, 10 in the morning. But the Fuda luxury bus was 300,000, which is double the price. So I was like, screw it. I was like, I'm not going to take a bus for double the price. Crazy. I had no choice, or else I'd miss the connection in Germany. So they're actually, technically, I heard, is standing room only tickets. I don't think these guys are on it, but we do notice some people that will come over here and they kind of bounce from seat to seat. And I heard the standing room tickets are only available at the station on the day of, and they're about 20% of what the cheapest ticket is. So for example, we spent 140,000. A standing room only ticket would be like 30,000. But that's why we've now figured out why people are sitting in our seats, why when we ask them to leave and they get up, they go try to scope another seat, because we're like, don't they have tickets? Like, why are they sitting in ours? But I'm kind of convinced that they are in standing room only tickets. Where are you sleeping tonight? Tonight we're going to Nhon. We should be in Nhon in about 3.5 hours or so. The Fuda will send a van to pick you up at your hotel, drop you off. For me, that's not really that much. For me, so it cost us 22,000 for the in-drive. The in-drive was 80 cents, and it took about 15 minutes. It only took 12, so it was 80 cents to take a nice in-drive. So for me to pay double for the bus wouldn't be worth it. Wignon. Yeah, Wignon is very nice. It could be the next Da Nang, but it's gonna take years, 3 to 5 years, in my opinion, minimum, and it's gonna take much more Western amenities. And then I guess I don't know how you would do the bus visa run from there. I guess you would have to suck it up and do a 5-hour train from Wignon to Da Nang and then do Lin Visa. That would be kind of your only option. But it is somewhat better than Nha Trang. You would cut about 5 hours each way off. Alfred, what's up, my friend? Is that Africa? No, no. This is Vietnam. This is Vietnam. I don't know what city. We're somewhere in the middle of Nha Trang and Wignon, Vietnam. Arkansas? No, there's too many scooters to be Arkansas. Vietnam is filled with scooters. Vietnam, like the winters of the Vietnam War, rural Vietnam, it relaxes me too. The only, like, I would love to just stay 1 or 2 nights at like a little small random city like this. I just worry, like, what would I eat? How would I have AC in my accommodation? Like, little things like that is kind of what worries me. Like, it would be like staying in a hotel in a very, very, very rural part of Midwest USA, like little town USA. I have a feeling it would be like that with no English and chicken intestines to eat. Have you sat down and totaled up how much you guys burn in cash doing the week-long trip? This trip will cost us under $200 for sure. I've been keeping daily budget. We're gonna spend an extra day. We were only planning on doing 7 days. We're gonna do 8. So I think we're gonna probably come in, if I have to estimate, probably around $180. No less than about 150. So depending on the next day, we're probably gonna come in over 150, but under 180. I do my daily budget every day, so I would just have to total it up, but between 150 and 180 for an 8-day trip, which we probably could have trimmed down a little if we wouldn't have blew the budget last night and the first night in Wignon on food. So we could have probably did this trip for about 160-ish, which includes the accommodation, which includes the food, the train tickets, everything. Probably 160 for 8 days. Alfred, what's up, buddy? Does rural Vietnam sell fried bananas? I know, I think you mentioned that you ate 10. So what we've heard, we love the fried bananas too, but the problem is they said in the summertime it gets too hot for them, and for some reason they don't sell them. So we used to have 3 or 4 fried banana ladies in Da Nang, and they all disappeared at the same time. There's one existing fried banana stand that we know of, and when we asked her, like, where did it, her logic or her answer was, no one likes to cook them in the summertime. It's too hot deep frying things. But I was like, wait a second, you guys deep fry sweet potatoes all year round. You guys are deep frying bread. So I don't know. That's what she said, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Very rural Costa Rica and slept in a converted horse stall? Jesus Christ. Without a shower head. I am convinced Vietnam is the country if you want very, very low price hotels with nice quality. So the place that we don't even have a hotel right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop back into that hotel that was $5 last week, and we're gonna see if we can get it for $5. So right now it's like at $8, but it's not the exact same room. So we're gonna go talk to the manager, whoever it was last time, and we're gonna see if he'll give it to us for $5. If he does, we'll stay. If not, we'll go back to the same place in Mignon where we stayed the past 2 We stayed last year there, and we stayed this year there. So we'll go stay either at the place that we've been staying at, which is the huge balcony 35 square meter place in the quiet neighborhood, or if that guy will give us the $5 a night price again, we'll try out that new one. But we technically don't have a accommodation booked yet. Have you tried the banana mochi cake? I don't think so. I don't know. Fluffy might have had me try it, but I do like any kind of banana stuff. So I'm kind of a banana. It's not my favorite fruit, but I do like banana sweets. So let's go down here. Let's go see if there's a restaurant actually in here. Actually, as you get down in this part of the train, it gets a lot better. There's the employee section. Here's the nicer bathroom. So Kim, if you're still watching, this is the nicer bathroom. Yeah, Fluffy got left behind. And then look, so it's a mixture. There's those toilets and then those toilets. So there's a combination. These must be standing room only people. See? So some of these people are standing room only. I believe these are the 4 beds. No, these are the 6 beds. Yeah, Fluffy got left behind in Nha Trang because I couldn't pay the last day bill. So she's folding blankets, doing laundry, and washing dishes. She'll probably meet up with us tomorrow if she works off the debt from the last night of the hotel. There's another toilet. I haven't seen a four-bed sleeper yet. I don't know if they're further down or the other way. I've been in Vietnam this time for about 13, 14 months. And then I went to the USA before that for 4 months. And then I was here in Vietnam for another 8 months before that. So in the past 2 years, I've probably been here for about 20 months. 20 out of 24 months, basically. Yeah, a little over a year this time, and then almost a year in 2023. So maybe this is the 4-car. Yep, this is the 4-car. So if you guys look, if you look here, this is the 4-car. So that's the 4-bed. Don't forget, Will, they're going to make Fluffy use a squatting hole in the ground as punishment. For 2 years. Is YouTube worth it as a job? I would probably say no. The only reason I would say yes. Let me get out of this noise and I'll tell you. I'll tell you no for a couple of reasons. I would say no if it's your only source of income. I would say no if you're in the USA. And I still don't break even here. So this is one of the cheapest countries in the world. I spend only about $7.50. Xin chào. What's up, buddy? I spend about $750 a month here, and I still don't break even on YouTube. So if this is your only source of income, if you don't have any money coming in, and when you start, you're gonna get very little views, very little subscribers. So if you're using it as your only form of income, then I would say no. Now, if you want to do it and you have another source of income, or you want to do it for just your own self, then yeah. What country? This is Vietnam. We're somewhere in rural, out in the countryside of Vietnam. USA, because your bills are a lot more expensive. Like, if I was making the money that I make here, so I make about 70% of my bills. I recoup back about 70%. So $500 or so a month. What would I do with $500 in the USA? Like, that wouldn't even pay, what, food? I would tell you no if your apartment in Vietnam is 12. I wouldn't even say if you're depending on it for your only source of income, then I would probably say no almost everywhere in the world. Now, if you're doing it for a passion and you have some other source of income, then I say yeah. But if you say, hey man, I just want to do it for fun and grow my channel, then yeah, 100%. But if you say, hey, should I quit my job and go move to Vietnam and start up a YouTube channel? I would say no. See, there's a lot of garbage in Vietnam, though. We noticed that. It's usually out in these rural cities. So let's go make our way back. Don't forget to like the live. Fluffy, get back to work. Everyone knows you got left behind in Nha Trang because I didn't pay the hotel bill, so you should go back to folding clothes and washing dishes at the Regal Hotel. So Regal's stuck. Fluffy is stuck in the Regal Hotel trying to pay off our bill. What is the dirtiest country in Asia? I've been to 10 countries in Asia, and I don't really, so I've been to like dirtier cities or dirtier parts of cities, but just overall as a blanket statement, I can't really say. I'd say there's some cities in the Philippines I've been to that are kind of dirty. There's a few neighborhoods in Vietnam I've been to that have been dirty, but as an overall country, let me put it the other way. China was surprisingly clean. That kind of shocked me. Singapore was pretty clean. China was shockingly clean to me. Da Nang is middle of the road or even closer to clean for me. I can't really single out one country. Yes, we are about an hour-ish, probably right around an hour-ish into leaving Nha Trang. So what time is it now? 3:10. Yeah, we'll probably get there at about 6 o'clock. So we're probably right around 3 hours. I wonder which Fluffy would choose if she had a choice. I'm sure she would choose the aluminum one, not the squatting one. If this was a bet, I bet she'd choose this. Yeah, I couldn't imagine her using the other one. I think we're gonna come to another stop, I think. So this might be another stop. But if I had more time, and if I moved out of our apartment and I had more time, I think we would do, not only for my curiosity, but I think we would stop in random little cities like this for maybe a day or 24 hours, then catch the train the next day or something. I've always been interested in doing stuff like that. Oh, let's not get slammed. Oh, maybe are we in Tuy Hoa? Maybe we're in Tuy Hoa. She grew up in the Philippines with squatting toilets? Come on. Fluffy, did you have squatting toilets? Fluffy is from a middle class family. Her family has a maid, a live-in maid, so I don't think she had a toilet. I don't think people that have live-in maids have those kind of toilets. But I don't know, I never asked her that. Fluffy, did your house have a squatting toilet? I don't even know where we're at. I think we're so far down. Look, someone brought a fan. How's the food? Food? I like the food. Well, I'm very, very picky about food. Uber boxed in. Sorry. I like the food. I'm very picky on food, no matter if I'm in USA or anywhere. I don't eat seafood. I don't eat organ meats. I eat beef, chicken, pork, rice, eggs, Western food, obviously. But my go-to here is if I can't find anything, I get the pork chop and rice and fried egg, or I get beef and egg and rice. Good food. I never have a problem with the taste of the food. How's the food in Vietnam? From Sweden. I don't think we get many people from Sweden in here. There's been a few. I don't know where we're at. Where's the fluffster? Fluffy. Fluffy, you live at a house that has a squatting toilet.
No, I don't have a house. I'm a freeloader.
I haven't used a squatting toilet since I left 50 years ago. When you hit 10 cubs, you should eat a seafood plate. No, when we hit 10,000, I've already made the promise that when and if we hit 10,000, I will ride a scooter for a day. So we'll do a live stream of the scooter, and I'll do a uploaded video. So it'll be an uploaded video and a live stream. I'll have to get a mount, and I'll put it on my chest, and we'll go ride a scooter, and we'll probably do it in a city like Dong Hoi. I just ate at Loving Vegan. I'm not a vegan, but it was delicious. I think that's Mitzi's, one of his favorite restaurants.
No, Matthias.
Maybe it was Mateus's favorite.
Yeah. And
I seen they have
GS.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich there.
GS. We should try that stuff.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is like 80,000.
No, they have good food.
Old newspaper. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scared about going to. That's why I can't.
Newspaper.
It's better than using new newspaper. It's better than using new newspaper.
In the Philippines, they use grass and
Grass.
leaves.
Jesus Christ. That's like camping. When you hit 15,000, you'll do a homeless challenge. I've never even thought.
We're homeless now.
I've never even thought about. Well, first of all, when I started the channel, I never thought I would hit 1,000. Let alone we're almost at 6,000 now. I never thought I would hit 5,000. And even now, for me, I still can't imagine 10,000. So anything beyond that is I haven't even thought about.
Max.
Yeah, I remember you told me that story.
Max is saying something.
Are there big similarities between Philippines and Vietnam? Kind of in a roundabout way, but the Philippines, you get less quality for a higher cost of living. You get worse internet, you get worse infrastructure, worse food, you get everything worse in comparison to what you pay, but you get better English and you get a better long-term visa in the Philippines. So those are the two big pros of the Philippines that you get. But everything else, like if you had a chart and you put Vietnam and you put Philippines, on the Philippine side you would put English, meeting women, and you would put long-term visa. But then on Vietnam side, you'd put food, you'd put cost of living, apartment, quality, internet, electricity. You'd have all that for Vietnam. I've never had to use one. I've never even used one. I think technically that's the first time on this train that I've ever seen one in person. Train to Nhon, Vietnam. We have about 3 hours. Fluffy, look at Google Maps. See how many more hours. I think it's about 3.
We're into.
This is Thuy Hoa.
It's not far. Two.
But I remember that was like 2 hours. We haven't been on here for 2 hours. Not only internet, but also having blackout problems.
Yes, of course, there's better.
If you're scared of being in a country that doesn't have English, if you want to meet women that speak English and that like an American lifestyle or a Western lifestyle, and you don't ever want to do visa runs and you want to stay in a country for 3 years without leaving, Philippines is awesome. But if you want good food, good internet, good electricity, good transportation, good infrastructure, not dealing with things are out of stock, not having. So here's a big difference. Almost everywhere in the Philippines, when we come out of a 7-Eleven, there'll be adults or there'll be kids asking us for money. In Vietnam, I have never seen anyone ask us for money, ever, ever. Except, I take it back. Just this week in Nha Trang, remember Fluffy? We seen one person come up to us in Nha Trang, in Marcus's neighborhood, and put his hand out. That's the very first time in almost 2 years that I've seen
But
anyone
they
in
said
Vietnam.
that's the first time
That's
they
a.
saw.
They said that's the first time too, but that's just a crazy coincidence that the first time they seen it.
Yeah,
But
but when you see that in Vietnam, don't start it.
I'm in the same boat as Dark Brother. Finally, I agree with him. I'm not scared to be in a non-speaking English country. I'm in the same boat, but who I tend to find that's scared of that is older, retired Americans. Retired Americans that have never left the country, but they just got a divorce or their wife died or whatever. They go to the Philippines, they find a young woman, they love English, they're looking for a woman, they have a guaranteed pension or retirement, and they are kind of introverts, meaning they don't want to get Google Translate. They don't want to go get on a bus with all these people. Those guys are the ones that love the Philippines. They'll hang out at the same bar. They will look for young women. They love not having to go get on a bus or a flight and do a visa run. And that's who the Philippines is absolutely 100% perfect for. But the Philippines is not great for a younger guy that's main priority is not women and that's looking for good internet, good luxury, um, and easy to travel the country. That is not a good person for the Philippines. That kind of person, a young guy that wants luxury a little, that's not looking for women on the number one thing, and cheap cost of living, Thailand is probably the best for someone like that. Now, if you're like me, you want to just chill, relax, low cost of living, maybe get 80% of the amenities of a Thailand, but not as much, and women aren't the top priority, Vietnam is a better choice for you guys. So, older, retired Americans, terrified of English, don't want to do a visa run, Philippines.
So if he brought a card now, he only has
Anh em cho anh hóa kề Buddha Hà Tĩnh hôm qua mấy bác.
I'm not sure what you mean on that part, Dark Brother. I'm giving you a general idea of which kind of person is the best for each country. A 60 plus year old guy that's terrified of not having English, that doesn't want to do visa runs, wants a younger woman, and is willing to overpay to stay in a not so great place, but as long as women and American bars are there, Philippines is for that guy. Now, if you guys want a gym and a pool and a nice condo, and you're willing to pay a little bit more money, and women are not your main thing, and you want to work online, Thailand is for those guys. Now, people like me, you will not get the same quality and luxury, but you'll get 80% of it in Vietnam. You'll have a lower cost of living, and if you just want to chill, hang out, and just live a more less English speaking country, then Vietnam is your choice. When I say older, I mean like 60. I mean retirement age. I mean like 60 plus. And these guys are, so if you're 60 plus, you're on a retirement, and you're terrified of English and you're terrified of doing visa runs. That's who I'm speaking of. So older 60 plus year old guys that are on retirement and don't want that. That's when I say older, that's what I mean.
isn't it ChatGPT is paid?
It's free, but there's, if you want to go to like unlimited and you want to move up to like, there's different levels, but there's a free version. Man, sorry to hear the bad news for you guys. Yeah, when I say older, I mean their retirement age, 60 minimum or 62 retirement age. Those are usually the guys that love the Philippines. But go look, you will not find 25-year-old digital nomads that need great Wi-Fi and luxury. Those are a rare bunch to stay in the Philippines. That's a rare bunch. Like, If you want like good internet, travel, bounce around, digital nomads, you'll find those guys in Thailand or some even in Vietnam. But the digital nomad, younger guy that's on the move, you'll find them in Thailand. I have not been back to Thailand since end of 2023-ish, but I did hear it went up. That's why.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Pope died on Easter.
No, after he did the message yesterday.
Yeah, so whoever said the Pope died, I guess that's correct. Now that's an option. So yeah, that's a viable option. The more money that you guys have, the more options
That's 88.
you guys have for sure. In the term of like JJ has a nice setup. For me, it's kind of crazy because at certain times he's paying for an apartment that he's not in. But ideally, JJ, the Lonely Bull, he has a nice setup. So he's got a condo in Bangkok that sometimes just sits. And then he's got a condo in Bangkok, and he's also got a condo in the Philippines. So he kind of like rents both of them at times, at the same time, even if he's not there. Like he told me he keeps his main stuff, his stuff in Bangkok, and then he went back to the Philippines this last time to go renew his passport. That's a nice setup for me. I don't know if I would do that, but I like that idea. I just don't like that idea in the sense that you'd be paying for something, but it's a very nice, like, if I had an unlimited budget, I would do something probably similar. I would have a base in Da Nang, I would have a base in maybe somewhere in the Philippines, and a base in Bangkok. But at least Bangkok and Da Nang would be my two bases if I ever went to something like that. Yeah, it's always crazy what stuff they sell. We seen like the stuff looks like pizza crust, but it's extra dry. They were selling mangoes. This one, Fluffy, this train seems like it's different items than all the other trains that we see. Usually the trains we see are usually corn, banh mi's, and some corn, banh mi's, and something else. But this one's been like mangoes, that pizza, cracker dough, whatever it is, that looks like a raw pizza dough.
I feel like it's just the same.
We've never seen mangoes. And we've never seen those snacks. That other guy had that cart full of snacks.
I don't know, 'cause
I've never
maybe
seen those.
Because of the time, we don't really travel this time. We always travel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, Alfred. It's bad news. The guy walks around selling fermented meat. I never understand what you guys mean by fermented. So in USA, I don't think we have fermented. We'll have cured meat, like what is ham. Like you cure it and you smoke it. But I'm not sure what fermented. Like what is the fermenting process? Because we will, like when I go to restaurants, it'll be like, hey, fermented pork with rice. And I'm thinking like, what do they mean by fermented? Fermented always seems weird when it comes to meat. Now, is that the same thing as cured meat? Like sausage is cured, ham is cured, bacon is cured, but I never really know what they mean by fermented. I asked this question on your visa run before. I saw that what happens if doing a border run you get denied re-entry? Would they let you? I don't think they would on both parts of that question. We've never heard of anyone getting denied of it as long as they've never overstayed their visa or had some issue. So most people worry about not getting re-entry back in. We've never heard of that unless someone has overstayed their visa. And also, no, we've never heard that they'll say like, yeah, sure, go get your stuff and go get it and come back. But I wouldn't worry about that unless you guys overstay your visa or you guys broke a law or something. But to technically put it this way, if you use Lynn Visa or probably any visa service, you apply in advance. So you apply like a month ahead of time. So we've been kind of told if you apply, you pay them. they will kind of keep you updated and say like, hey, there's a problem with us getting your visa, and you wouldn't run the problem. And also in Vietnam, it's not like Thailand. Thailand, if you keep coming back multiple times, they'll kind of red flag you. But in Vietnam, I've done 5 visa runs in a row now. I know some people that have done visa runs 5 years in a row, back to back to back, never have any issue. It's cured with vinegar. Yeah, that's not my style. When I asked what's fermented, they said cured in vinegar. I'm not a fan of vinegar, and I don't like my meat to be sitting around in liquid.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes, you guys can get your... Philip, there's your cigarettes. There's Philip's cigarettes. It was chewed by Hanoi Elder first. They will deny you re-entry if you apply during the week before Tet holiday. They won't deny you. You just won't get your visa. Deny means you can't come back into the country. Like, hey, you've overstayed or you've broken a law. We will not allow you back into the country again. He sells drinks and noodles. Sometimes we see the drink. What I would love for them to sell is Tra-Talk. What we're going to try to find is a lady that's outside at a stop selling Tra-Talk. I would love that. I'm overthinking relocating here for a while. I wouldn't do a border run with all my crap. So put it this way. I've done 4 or 5 visa runs in a row now. All I ever take is a backpack, and I have a snack, my water bottle.
Maybe you see J.D. Vance as your president.
No clue. Yeah, I have like a little backpack. I don't bring my stuff. I don't bring my laptop. I don't bring anything. I bring a charger. I bring like my battery charger. I bring a sandwich, my water, and stuff like that. Yeah, ignores, yes. But he's worried that he's going to leave all of his stuff at his house, and then he's going to come back from a border run, and they're going to say, sorry, sir, denied, you cannot come back in. And he's worried that he'll never get his stuff because he can't get back into the country, and all of his stuff is in his apartment. We've never heard of that. I have no intentions of, yeah, if you do that, you should have no problems. And also, like I said, we use Lin Visa because that's who's in Da Nang. They've always done good. I apply a month ahead of time. I go pay. He takes care of all the paperwork. There's nothing you have to do. If you had a red flag or a warning, he'd probably say, hey, I heard from the government that you've overstayed. You're going to have a problem. But we've never heard of anyone. We are going to a city called Nhon, Vietnam. And we're leaving Nha Trang, Vietnam. Yeah, I would never recommend you guys overstaying. It's not worth it. I would never recommend it because there's no point of overstaying. For one, at minimum, you're going to get fined when you leave, right? You're going to get fined and you possibly get blacklisted. Now, here's your alternative. The worst case scenario is you get a $50 or $60 one-way ticket to Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur. That's it. So you just go before your visa's up, go get a $50, $60 ticket, go to Bangkok, go apply for your visa. So if you overstay, your fine is most likely going to be the same price as the ticket, if not more, and you're possibly being blacklisted. So there's absolutely no benefit of overstaying at all. Yeah, if you can't handle I tell people this, if you guys have the extra money and you can't do the bus ride, do the flight. If you guys have extra money, go do the flight. If you want to come back the same day, do the bus. If you want to stay gone for 3 to 7 days and you want to go see another country and you have the money, do the flight. I highly recommend the flight for people that have that. If you want to come back the same day, do the bus. I did that my first day. I brought extra underwear. I brought clothes. The very first visa run that I did. And I even brought my laptop. The very first visa run I've ever did on the train or on the bus. because I was nervous. I was nervous just like you guys. And then when I seen how it works, I was like, okay, I don't need to bring it. I don't need to. So, but the first time I brought my laptop, I brought all my chargers, I brought like 3 or 4 pairs of underwear, 3 or 4 shirts, but now I don't bring any of that. No, we're stopped right now. So if you hear, there's another train going. Here's kind of the thing I'm kind of shocked about. The Vietnam Railways only has one track. No clue why that is. So what happens is, if another train's coming, we have to sit and wait for that train to go, and then we'll go. So that's the reason why some of these trips take a little longer, is because you have to wait for another train to get on the track. Because like, if you drove from Nha Trang to Nhon, where we're going, I think it'd be like 3 hours and 20 minutes. It'd be like 3 hours and 20 minutes driving car distance wise, but this trip will end up being like 4 hours because of the train stops and because of the waiting for other trains. And this is very common in Vietnam. People just always have their feet out. That's what I read. I might be wrong, but when I looked it up, I heard there's only one track. I can't 100% verify that, but I read that there's only one track, and I read that's the reason why we sit over here and wait. We wait till the next track, the train comes by, and then we go. Everybody always takes their shoes off. I don't know why they don't have to. I just naturally thought they had at least 2 tracks, if not more. To have one from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh is kind of crazy. So now we'll take off. So now that the train on the other sides went by. No. In Vietnam, they do not care. In Thailand, yes. Vietnam, no. Vietnam, that's why a lot of people prefer Vietnam, because you get a 90-day visa here and immigration never bothers you as long as you didn't overstay. Thailand, you only get 60 days on the tourist visa. And 60 days in Thailand compared to 90 days in Vietnam. 60 days in Thailand, and the immigration gives you a bit of a time if you keep coming back. And there's talk that Thailand is going to drop 60 days down to 30. So here's what I read. I can't verify it, but I read, because remember how I told you guys there was a 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning train, but nothing after 4 in the morning till 2 o'clock. I read that the reason why there's that gap is because the cargo trains use that line from that time. But I don't know. That's what I read. But obviously I can't verify that. I have no clue. It's still shocking to me that they said there's only one train line. I don't know why. Fuster, can you turn on your Wi-Fi's?
20,000
Oh,
per minute.
20,000. Okay, then we're gonna split half the hotel bill.
Kissy, kissy.
That's
My
another
man is a
50,000.
kissy, kissy.
I charged for that. Yeah, Yummers, were you there when I was sitting here and I was talking to you guys? I was like, yeah. And there was a big bag up here. And I swear to God, the bag just jumped. We weren't moving. We were sitting still and the bag went like this. And it slammed the guy right on the head. But then when we were getting off the train, Fluffy grabbed her bag and I was sitting here talking to you guys. And she flung a helmet and it smacked me in the head. I don't know. Look at ZYZZ. We were this close to going to Quang Nagai today instead of Wien Yan. I was like, you know what? Let's go try Quang Nagai. But here's what I've heard about it. I know if Tim's in here, he's going to say, that's not how you say it. That's not how you say it. but it's called Quang, Ngai, and it's about an hour-ish past Wien. And I was like, you know what? Let's go just try that city. It's on our way to Da Nang. I read there's very, very little reviews about it, and I heard like it's very rural and poor. And then another guy was like, no, 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 you're in the wrong part. There is Western amenities and this. And I was like, let's go try it. And at the last second, I said, nah, we'll skip it. There is no way, because that old train track's right along the coast. I don't know. I like I said, I can't verify, but when I read, it told me that, but I have no clue. Let me see. The Fluffster. Are you going to the city scouting? 50-50. So we did this trip. There's not a specific reason. There's multiple reasons. So first of all, it's a combination. We did this trip because Fluffy is leaving. So I will not travel by myself. I'm going to shoot all my videos, edit. So while she's gone, I'm not going to travel. So I said before she leaves, let's do one quick travel trip. That's part of the reason. The second one is that we wanted to go scope out Nha Trang to see if Nha Trang could be a possible living place. But here's the other part. The other part is I can't do 10-hour train rides at one time. So we said instead of just going from Da Nang to Nha Trang on a 10-hour train ride, let's break it up and stop in those cities for a few days. So it's kind of a combination. There was no real 100% only reason of why we're doing this trip. Part of it's because we're doing a trip, like a vacation with me and Fluffy before she leaves. And then part of the reason is, why the hell is it doing that? And then part of the reason is because we wanted to go to Nha Trang and rule it in or rule it out. And then the other reason is we can't do 10-hour train rides, so we need to break it up. Would you have preferred that Will spent the whole 180 on buying? Fluffy, Dark Brother said, would you have preferred that Will spent the whole 180 on buying you beers and sushi for your last week, or doing the trip?
Doing the trip.
Fluffy likes doing the trip. Fluffy's like, you know what? Sometimes Fluffy is cheaper than me, so she likes to travel and she's cheap.
You
So
don't say that.
no, she
They find me nice.
no, because you don't tell them the truth. Yeah, Fluffy
I'm
likes to
cheaper.
travel.
Yeah, I like to travel, especially if it's free,
Let me see.
because because I'm cool.
What's wrong with your glasses? Why are they bouncing?
I'm cool.
Is there only one track on Vietnam Railways? Let's take a look. Yeah, we're going to stay in Wien overnight. Vietnam Railway system is primarily single track with North and South Railway running between Ho Chi Minh. However, there are also standard gauge and mixed gauge lines in North. The total runway network spans 2,600. Where does the cargo train line run? Is it on the same Vietnamese railroad track, or does it have its own track? Let me see. Vietnam railway system primarily consists of meter gauge tracks. However, there are standard gauge, mixed gauge regarding the cargo train. There isn't widely available information about a dedicated track for it. Most freight and cargo trains in Vietnam operate on the existing railway network, sharing tracks with passenger trains. So that's as much as it'll tell me. Fluffy is going back to the Philippines for work. She has to go meet up with her online work and do work-related stuff. But it's also perfect timing because her visa run would be like a week after she leaves anyways. So it actually saves me a little bit of money because I didn't have to pay for her visa run. We are staying in Wien tonight. Fluffy seems cool and like a good travel partner. That's because she's faking it.
Oh, don't say that.
She's doing the glasses move. I love that. It gives 2,000 aura. So I don't know. I don't know I don't know if the cargo trains uses the same. I don't know. Can you see the ocean from the window?
No, we're
We're
not.
too
A
far.
while ago, we did.
Yeah, oh yeah, I have some video. We saw the ocean, but that was like 40 minutes ago. And it also depends on which side of the train you sit on. Here's another thing. Please help me understand this. So we go into the train station, right? And I ask them, like, if we don't have a ticket, I'll say, can you give us 2 tickets? And I'll say, can you put us on the coast side or like whatever side? And they'll tell me, oh, we don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, you guys work here. You guys know what side has the coast view and what side doesn't. And every time I go there, they'll say, oh, we don't know. We don't know.
Remember the train? The train has I mean, like 2 drivers. But what if the train goes around?
The train goes around? What do you mean?
It goes in like that side.
Well,
it turns.
what I'm saying is, if we buy a ticket from Nha Trang to Da Nang, they know we're going this direction, and they know the ocean is on this side or this side. They've been there, and then all they have to see is the available seats, and they know. She's doing the glasses. Can you see the ocean? So here's what I pay for. I pay for her visa, and for her food. Now, obviously, I pay rent, but whether she's living here or not, then that doesn't cost me any extra. But I do pay for her food most of the time. Sometimes she'll go buy dinner for us. She'll go pay for this. So the visa run I do,
If
and
there's
food.
something expensive that I want to try and it makes
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We went through a tunnel, but There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We went through a tunnel, but I've always said I have no problem paying for certain things, meaning dinner, rent, stuff like that. But I've always been 100% against handing women money. Hey, you need to pay your credit card bill? Here's cash. Hey, you want to send some money back to your family? Here's cash. I never give women money in cash. If I'm with someone, I will pay the rent, I will pay the food, I will pay the visa run, stuff like that. But I don't hand women cash. I've always said that. I've always said I will pay for rent, food. Like, even if I was a single guy and I went out on a date with a lady, I would pay for the movie, I would pay for the food. I've never not said that. Never in a million years. I will never deny that part. What I always have said is I will never say, oh, you need $500 to pay your cell phone bill? Here you go. You need this? Here you go. I will never do that. I will never hand over cash. I will pay the waiter the money for the bill. I will pay the visa agency for the visa run, and I'll pay the rent because obviously I'm staying at the rent. So it doesn't matter if I'm only there by myself or if 10 people. But I never pay cash to a woman or say, here you go decide what you want to do with the money. I don't do that. I think the employees can only assign you available seats. No. We get to pick seats. So we chose these seats. There's a seating chart. I'll show you. So there's a seating chart, and they see the seats before. So I don't understand why that is, but watch, I'll show you. So what you do is, I think they just don't want to do the effort. That's the only thing I could think of, but I'll show you. Like, you pick your own seats. You definitely pick your own seats. Like, watch. Let me show you guys. So, watch. Let me show you guys how you guys pick your own seats. So, let's say this. So, look. Here's the seating chart, right? So, if you come here, where's the seating chart? So, look. So, they'll say, like, the left side and the right side, right? This is seat number 14. This is seat 30. So, you can pick those. So what I don't understand is when I get there and I'm asking, I'm like, hey, can you give us the ocean side? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, how do you not know the ocean side? You work here. Is there a visa run to China? So, Mitzi, yes, there is. It used to be very, very easy. but I heard there still technically is, but there's like an extra step. So it used to be, you used to be able to do it on Vietnam railways, but now I heard you take Vietnamese railway to a specific station, and then you have to like get out and walk to like a bus and do the rest. I was trying to figure it out. I haven't figured it out 100% because me and Fluffy were thinking about that. We were thinking about going back to Dong Hoi, to Vinh, and then going to Hanoi and doing a visa run there. So there is a way. It's not as easy as it used to be, but we are going to figure it out. So I might even do a video on that. But the short answer is there is a way to do it. The other answer is it's a lot, not a lot more difficult, but it's definitely extra steps than it used to be. Dark Brother, that's probably part of the Chinese belt and the road investment they're doing throughout Asia. I don't think most of us do that. I'm not sure what you mean by most of us do. I think we're back up. I think we're back up. My phone, I switched it back, but here's your guys' every time I try to point the camera out. Here we go though. This is the ocean, but this is some water. There's no more water. There we go. I think we're back up. What website is that? I tried to use the one to book my ticket. What website is that? I tried to use the one to book my ticket away, but it wouldn't allow me to complete the payment. It always